All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope you can see and hear me and all that good stuff. We'll go through a quick roll call. We have DB in here, reloading from the Hot Pot Pistol Pete, and Dennis Buckner. I'm sure there'll be more, and I'll say hello to them. And the title of the chat is Utilize Every Advantage, and we'll get into what that means here in a minute. Got a bunch more comments and stuff. Pistol Pete actually brought up are there new CZs that are coming out. There are a few. Hello, Dirt Track. How are you? What they are offering for 2023 is the new CZ P10C optic ready suppressor ready. So they will have the tall suppressor sights. So they're going to have that in the P10C optic ready suppressor ready and the P10F optic ready suppressor ready. They're also coming out with a A01. Y'all have probably seen it, the CZ Custom A01. This one's going to be optic ready. Some of them, when they first came out, weren't. I know there's some people that have milled them. Some they are already selling the mill ones. So I don't know if it's necessarily new. And there has been a rumor that there is another CZ coming out, but it's supposed to be like the smaller, like the DWX version. I've heard that. It's kind of really a Dan Wesson, but it hasn't officially been released yet. So there's rumors that it's coming now. And somebody said that the small one may be coming optic ready out of the box. So I don't know if that's true. And also in the second quarter of this year, we are supposed to have the DWX optic ready. So they should have done that first, but that is what it is. Let's see here. We got Lake Ozark guy. We got Brian Duchesne. How are you, Brian? Got Milkman. We got Chris from the 740. His chat will be after mine, Bald and Curious. Let's see here. CZ Shadow 2. Dale Progue is in. Abigail, Rich B. Yep. Biden is coming hard after 2A right now, trying to distract us from the economy taking a giant shit. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And also for all the money he's giving to his little stepson. Yeah, that could be it, Dennis. No lie. Could be another 2 years. Hello, Jim's Laser Creation. How are you? But let's go ahead and jump into it. Also, I don't know if y'all have seen it. This is the new Core Eclipse watch. So it does have the little Core band, just like the Core belts. Got a full review on it. If you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. Let's see here. Let me run this real quick. All right. Oh, trying. There it is, right there. Yep, it's always good to have those thumbs up. They definitely help the algorithm because YouTube hates me right now. Oh, this is Jim's first time here. Well, we appreciate you being here. Everybody, welcome, Jim. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you? Government's always getting into people's lives. Why can't they go themselves? I agree. They've got to have their hands in our pockets and pass it out to everyone else. And of course, excuse me. Oh, actually, that's just Optics Planet. But yeah, they've always got to be a part of something. And they won't go and harass the criminals and the bad people and the drug dealers and all that, but they'll harass us. So it just shows what's going on. And I did want to ask this question to y'all that own them. The P365X macro, if anybody has it and that has carried it, not just put it in a drawer, but people that have carried it and things like that, are y'all noticing any rust on it, like on the sights, on your fire control unit, your FCU? Are y'all noticing any kind of rust on it? I know Keenan had it on his mags and stuff like that. That can happen. I mean, I haven't had any of it happen, but I guess in some areas, high humidity areas, it could happen. But just curious if anybody's had any salt on, like any rust on it or anything, like from sweat or whatever, because I am seeing a lot of like rust issues. I mean, hearing about a lot of them and seeing videos on a bunch of them, and I'm just like, what the hell? Not saying everybody, not saying it's a bad gun. However, one particular person contacted Sig about his, and he recorded the conversation. He asked him for permission and all that. Y'all can check out the video. And he was actually on the phone with customer service for a really long time, going through everything, and saying that my sights have rust all over them. I've got rust internally in the gun, on his barrel, on his FCU, and Sig just said we don't cover rust. Me personally, and it's not like, I mean, I carry guns, I've sweat on them. I mean, sweat all over the guns, and I don't take them out and clean them all off and all that. I just throw them in the safe or leave them on the nightstand. Sometimes I've actually had to take them and shake the sweat off of them, but I don't go in and detail them or even wipe the sweat off. And I've never had a rusting problem on any of my guns. But it seems like this 365 is, or the X Macro. If you start watching some of these videos, and I didn't even really realize it till somebody came on and left a comment saying, "Have you seen all this rusting? Check into it." So I started looking at some of these videos, and I'm like, "Wow." So I didn't know if, like I said, I'm not picking on them, but just curious if anybody's seen that. No rust on any of my SIGs. That's good. That's good. Yeah, well, Lynn, if you look at the bank, those particular banks, um, and look at the money that they were holding, there are a lot of, these Silicon Valley investment companies and things like that. They had a lot going out in and not a lot coming out, or excuse me, a lot going out, not a lot coming in. Also, they had to uh, release their bonds and take a loss on them. So, I mean, it was just a mess. Some of your other big banks are not so bad about doing that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but, and I always tell everybody you should have cash on hand in your home. And cheers, everyone. Nothing on my Glock is rusty. Y'all know I don't treat my weapons with care. Well, they're tools. I'm not the guy. I mean, that's another thing. I don't, even after I go shoot at the range, I don't detail my guns or even really wipe them off. I could shoot 300-400 rounds, still not clean the gun. I'll put some oil on them, especially the 2011s, but I'm not a detail person and I haven't had any problems with any of that. But I want to talk about a couple of things and utilize every advantage. And where I was going with this, I get a lot of questions, and I know we've talked a little bit about it before, but why do you run a red dot? Why do you run a comp on your pistol? Why do you run this? Why do you run that? I just look at anything that helps you as the shooter or as the owner of that gun feel more comfortable with shooting. If you have poor eyesight, that's where a red dot can help you. If you're recoil sensitive, or if you need a light on your gun, that's where a flashlight on your gun can help you. The go pedals, the little gas pedals that you put on the 320s and some of the other pistols, if you have a lot of muzzle rise, those gas pedals can actually help you. So those would be advantages in my eyes. Red dot, comp, flashlight, maybe a go pedal. Why would you not use those as an advantage? Why would you not take advantage of using those and maybe making you better? A lot of people say they're cheaters or they help you cheat or whatever. Look at it this way. I've raced cars, I've done all that other stuff. If you want your car to go faster and you're even in the same class of other vehicles, there's ways to make your car go faster than other people. Those are advantages. So work the advantages. Call them loopholes, call them whatever you want. But you could have two of the same exact cars, and if you tweak them and you know what you're doing, you can actually make one car faster than the other car. So it's the same with guns. And also even putting a trigger in it, a trigger can be an advantage. So when somebody says, well, I keep all my guns stock, I can run them stock, that's fine. Most of us out there can run a stock gun. Not saying that you have to take it and fancy it all up. But if you want to use things that could make your split times faster, make you more accurate, make you put holes inside of holes, or, anything, use it. It is not a bad thing. I get people, oh, you're cheating, or that's a cheater gun, or that's a this, or that's a that. Okay. Who says in a fight you got to fight fair? You don't. Fights are not fair. Well, neither should a gunfight. So those are my opinions. Let me know yours. If you just, think anybody that puts some whiz bang thing on a gun is dumb, let me know. I mean, you're not going to hurt my feelings, but thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Cheers to you as well. Don't store your gun in a leather holster. It can cause them to rust. That is 1000% true. Remember, I'm from the old school. I've carried leather holsters. Leather holsters actually will, and I've had it happen, seen it happen, but when you get the sweat in it, for one, you will actually swell out your holster. So that will definitely happen over time, not on a brand spanking new one. The leather will actually hold dust, debris. So when you put your gun in there, it'll scratch it because your dust and junk like that is stuck in there. You can't wipe it out. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually take your Kydex holster, put it under the sink. You can run a bottle brush through it if it gets dust in it. Rinse it off and then just shake it out, and you're good to go. I mean, it doesn't harm it, hurt it, warp it, anything like that. Not super. You don't want to do it in boiling water, but simply rinse it off. And I only run discrete carry concept clips, the steel clips. I've never had one of them rust or any of my hardware rust. So there's something that too. Richard is saying 3 categories: carry, planking, and home defense, staccato or DWX. It's a great question. For me, this is me. I would still go. Staccato. I just would. Nothing wrong with the DWX. Nothing. However, on the DWX, being all steel, you could get the Staccato P aluminum, which is going to help you with weight, and it still shoots just as flat. I mean, I'm assuming. I haven't shot a DWX, but I've shot Shadow 2s and all that. But I also see, on the Staccato, you can actually change out the frame. Now you can still change the trigger on both, but there's a lot more accessories available for 2011s than there are for the DWX so far. Of course, but you can change the grips on the DWX where you really can't put palm swells on a 2011, but you could add a Chile grip or whatever you wanted to do. But I still say Staccato or a 2011 over the DWX. That's one reason, honestly, I'm not even going to buy the DWX, and I've got a ton of P10F mags, so I would be great with that. I just don't see a huge difference. When they first came out, I was super excited about it. When they first were going to come out, I was super excited about it. But now, I mean, I love my 2011s. Not saying you could go wrong with either one. They both would have fantastic triggers. It's just really whatever you want to do. However, looking at as a 2011 guy now, the P10F mags won't fit in all of my 2011s. However, all of my 2011 mags will fit in all of my Staccatos, my MPAs, and things like that. So I still have mag compatibility where I would not with the DWX if you owned other 2011s. And of course, I own the P10F, so I have tons of mags for it, which would go right in. I've got tons of P09 mags and tons of P10F mags, so that would just go right into the DWX. Like Ozark guy was saying, I don't care for the extra weight size when concealing in the summer when wearing light clothes. Yeah, really doesn't bother me. I mean, I wear t-shirts, board shorts, stuff like that, and I carry bigger guns. It doesn't bother me, but to each their own. If you're fighting fair, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you can weight up any gun. And that's another thing, and I'll just share this with y'all if you want. Um, a lot of people, and I did this way, way back in the day, but it's all peel. I haven't used it in a long, long time. But if you want to even make your gun flatter, like really, really flat, and you only have polymer guns or you run polymer guns and you don't want to buy flashlights or all your holsters are set up for no flashlights, you can actually just go to Discount Tire and say, I need some of the sticky lead tire weights, like they stick on the inside of your rims, not the ones you hammer on, just little sticky lead weights. You can actually leave those on the sheet. You can take a metal rolling pin if anybody has a metal rolling pin. Some people don't, but you can also use a socket, like a round socket on an extension, and you can actually roll those out and make them flat. And then you can peel them off and stick them on the inside of your gun, like below your guide rod and, on the front. So you can actually patch those items in there. This is not saying to do it. I'm just saying if you want to try it, you can. Put your guide rod and everything back in, and that will add extra weight to the front end. You don't want to put too much weight because then it's going to nosedive. So when you're doing rapid shots, you're going to catch yourself doing this. It's going to nosedive. But if you're having a little more, like on a high bore access gun, like a SIG or something where it's doing this, you can put a little bit of tape weight in there and it'll pull it right back down. And you can also go to a golf store and you can get lead tape. So um, when you build golf clubs, you can use lead tape. I used to tape them on, like if you're towing the club or heeling the club, you can put a little piece of lead tape on the back, and then that'll bring your swing weight more even for the ball impact. You can do the same thing with lead tape, golf lead tape. Just a little trick. If somebody wants to do it, it does work. Let's see. I heard a point of view about new inbox coatings on bolt carrier groups not being the greatest thoughts. Yeah, I mean, there are some cheaper coatings on bolt carrier groups. Um, bolt carrier groups are going to show wear, not a big deal, as long as they're MPI'd, magnetic particle inspected, and your everything is staked properly and all that other stuff. I've got bolt carrier groups that look like they got drug across a damn asphalt road, and they work perfectly. So you want to lube them periodically and stuff like that and wipe them down. But, as long as you keep them lubed and keep them a little bit wet, they run. I'm not too crazy. I'm not, I guess I shouldn't say I'm not too caught up in the wear of things, unless it's like some crazy premature wear where it's chewing itself up. But if it's just break in wear or some of the coatings wiping off, I mean, I've got guns that I carry where the muzzle's got some wear on it and stuff. It doesn't bother me. Even some of my Cerakoted high end guns have some wear on them, but I don't care about that. Yeah, and it is cheaper than a tungsten guide rod. Some of the guide rods are super, super expensive. Some work. Some some guide rods do work. I've got some of the steel guide rods. It's a company called Steel Guide Rods, and theirs are good. The tungstens I played with some of the Glock ones, and some of them are just, I don't know, they seem too damn heavy. You can get different weights, but some of them seem a little crazy. And I'm not recoil sensitive, but I guess if someone is, that would help. But then again, you could buy a weapons mounted light and hang it on there, also, and that's going to help you with the recoil too if you're recoil sensitive. I had a pretty crazy question asked to me, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever been asked this, or maybe I have. What are videos or video types that I don't like? I mean, there's so much on YouTube, but what just kind of is cringe to me, I guess. And I started thinking about it, and the ones that I really, really don't like are the prank videos. And what I mean by that is like if somebody's just sitting there shopping in a store or doing something, and somebody runs up and screams in their ear or, throws something at them or puts a bucket over their head or something while they're just shopping, either grocery shopping or whatever shopping, at Lowe's or Home Depot. I just hate that. And I'm telling you, if somebody came up to me and started doing stupid shit like that, that would be a problem. And then they video it for your reaction and throw it up on YouTube. And if you knock a sucker out, um, and some of these people are going up and just grabbing people. If you went into a store and grabbed me or my family, you're going to get hurt and you're probably going to get drawn on. You just don't do stupid shit like that. And I've seen them do them in parking lots and all this kind of crap. Man, you start doing that stuff in the wrong part of town and you're going to get hurt. So I didn't know if which ones y'all don't like, but y'all can let me know. Let's see here. Also, I took YouTube sent me a survey because I'm a creator, and some of the other creators probably could have gotten the survey too. But it was, like you could fill in some of the questionnaires, and some of them were, just, like how likely are you to do this, and it's like 1 to 7 or something, and you can pick or whatever. And on a lot of the questionnaire ones where I could actually type in questions, I told them my piece and how they're going against the grain with the gun owner or the gun content makers and things like that. So I let my voice be heard. Now, they probably didn't like it, or they probably read it and kicked it right out the door. But if I could help make a change for other content creators and myself, but I know that I'm getting shadow banned. A lot of y'all probably are too. I had videos that were like, that used to get like 1,000 views pretty quick. And now it just sometimes 200, 300, whatever. And I'm not saying I make super quality videos, so I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just trying to say I think that, and think about it, if you want to reel someone in or not let some of their videos take off, there's ways they can do it with shadow banning. And that's what I was running into on Instagram. That's why I dumped them about 2.5 or 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or something like that, because I'd put a picture out or something like that, and I'd get like, man, I mean, quickly like 1,000+ views or whatever, likes and stuff. And I'm not in it for the likes, but I'm just in it to try to share with the community to bring non-gun owners over to our side, saying guns aren't bad, they're tools. And that's what I do with these videos. And they started really shadow banning me. I would get like community whatever, where you can't post anything for 3 days, all that shit from Instagram. So I was just like, screw it. And they came out with their new, I guess, whatever code of, or their, God, what is it called? Their new rules or whatever, where they could go into your contacts in your phone. They had access to your camera. Instagram, if you really read those, they have total control of your whole phone. And I started really reading those, and they were asking me to agree, so it would be for the next year. And I was like, nope. So I deleted all my stuff off of Instagram and haven't been back on in 2.5 years, and I don't plan on going back. So, that's just whatever. I mean, if y'all think, I'm full of crap, please tell me. But I know that they are definitely shutting us down and muzzling us. I've had scratches and other wear on my rifle. I just paint over it. Shit happens when you actually use your gear. Yeah, I mean, I paint. I've got several painted rifles, where I just spray paint them, and if it wears, I mean, it's gonna wear, so it doesn't bother me. And some of them are super expensive, and some of them are cheaper, but it doesn't matter. Joseph is saying, I was told by putting in a heavier recoil spring in the Staccato P, either a 15 or a 16 pound gun would shoot softer and last longer. Would this make sense to you? Some of them will shoot softer, but if the spring is too soft, it will actually make your slide slam harder. The heavier recoil spring is going to make it, slower, but it's going to not make it crash together. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But changing the recoil spring and also the hammer spring, there's all kinds of tricks if you want it to shoot a certain way or have less lift. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can tweak them. To be honest with you, I don't really worry about it. I just, I just grip the gun and go. On my P, I do have a little bit lighter spring. What is it? I can't remember the number. I've got a bag of them, but it's a little bit lighter because I run a comp. So that's the only reason I did it on that. And it still runs perfectly any kind of grain ammo. So you don't want to make it so it's unreliable or it's causing stovepipes, and some of the light springs can create stovepipes. So just be aware of that. But you can buy an assortment pack of springs from Dawson Precision, and you can actually take them out, pop them in, just your recoil springs, and shoot, and then see how it handles to you. And they're marked. They have colors, like one's a blue, one's a white, one's a red, and it tells you what they are. I just can't remember the poundage on them. I'm sorry. Pistol Pete, you didn't get a survey from YouTube? Damn them. What's up, MD Polo? How are you, sir? If y'all haven't checked out MD Polo gun channel, he's got a great channel. He just became a brand ambassador for his range. So that's pretty cool. And I've been one for mine for quite a while, but it's not anything they did, the presentation and stuff like they did for MD Polo. That was kind of cool. Yeah, YouTube Shorts can boost your channel. You know what's funny is I've actually done shorts, and some of them have done pretty well. But I've noticed here recently that my subscribers, like I lost, and I don't really monitor all this stuff, but I was like, something's weird. So I actually just started looking at my analytics the other day, and in one day I lost 30 subscribers, and I was like, wow, did I say something to piss some people off in a video or what? And I started thinking about it in my community. If you go into my community, I put memes in there, and I've gotten some hate from those memes. So I bet you some of these people have dropped me because of some of those memes. But, if they're on the same page as me, they'll find the memes funny. If they're not on the same page as us, they're going to get offended by them. And if those people are following me, I don't need them following me. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. What's up, Floridian? How are you? I try to get the ejection pattern like 3 to 6 feet. 10 millimeter will not play nicely with that, though. Okay. Hello, Clyde. Yes, sir. What's up, Gun Nation? Pistol Pete says liberals can unsub my channel if they want. My videos speak for themselves. Pistol Pete, are you doing videos? If you are, I need to subscribe to you. I didn't know that you were doing videos. Let's see here. Let's get into it. I still have some more. Also, this is why I was saying cheers earlier, but cheers. Today, and this is kind of a special chat. I didn't want to post this, but today I officially signed a letter, an agreement letter with the company, and I will be their, well, I won't really say what it is, but I'm going to be part of their team. So I officially signed today. So the agreement's good to go, and all the paperwork's been turned in, and I will be with them on Monday, this coming Monday. So cheers, everyone. This has been a long thought out time. If y'all have been following me, trying to find the right fit and the company that I wanted to go with that agrees with my beliefs, my plans, how I want to how I want to do things, and this company does. And so we came to an agreement, and I signed a letter today. So it's a done deal. So I've already gotten the approval, got the letter sitting right over there. So it's done. But whew, man, that was a that was a long time. Um, wasn't going to start losing houses and all that other stuff, but I was just like, man, this is taking a long time. Had some that wanted me to work for them for free, and I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean. And finding the right corporate type fit is pretty difficult nowadays. Another thing, I forgot to share this with y'all. Some of the people that I had been talking to and interviewed with, they found this channel. Uh, so I guess with their snooping and all that other stuff, but what I found out, it was a fault with Google. So my regular persona, I mean, not that I put on personas, I'm not trying to say that, but my regular work, Google, and my YouTube Google apparently were tied together. So when they would put in something, and if y'all have my email, which it's posted out there on the community, y'all probably have it. I guess when they were putting the email in, the channel popped up because it's Big Johnson, that's in my email. So that had popped up, and some of the people that I was talking to and talking with, they were like, "Who's this Big Johnson? What's this Big Johnson?" And I told them, and I have a feeling some of them are non-gun friendly people. So I think that could have had something to do with it as well. But I thought, looking back at it, I was like, but I mean, because you just never know nowadays how people are. But yeah, it did. I think it did play a role in some of this. Um, so I just wanted to share that if y'all are looking at doing something like that, I would recommend a whole new email where none of those things will kind of come into play, because I know it did with me, and I know some people were kind of freaked out about it. So oh, thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate all y'all saying congratulations. I mean, God, there's so many of them. Whew. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was really tough, mentally and physically. I mean, I was just like mentally drained. Um, and I'm a real big note taker. I always have been. And talking to a lot of these people, I mean, I have notebooks just full, like, these little spiral notebooks. I mean, I'm a big notebook person, or, I always write down notes and things so I'll remember. And, when I talk to somebody, the times, the dates, and, their names and what their titles are and all this other stuff. And I mean, I have notebook after notebook after, I mean, it's just crazy how much information I have and I've kept. And now I'm still going to keep that information, because those could be potential customers in the future. But yeah, it's been a mental and physical drain. And and I will be back on the road again. So if y'all haven't subscribed to the Big J's Pit Stop channel, you might, because that'll be firing up pretty soon. We're going to get some content on there about some places that I like to go to. I will be traveling out of state and things like that. So a lot's going to come on that channel. I was just waiting for everything to be locked down. I kind of knew they were courting me for a little while, but we just couldn't come to an agreement, and we finally did. So it's all handled. Pranic is saying, "What gun are you going to buy?" Just because I was out of work wouldn't have stopped me to buy a gun, but there's really, I mean, and I'm just being 100% honest, there's really nothing out there that is just totally, just totally on my radar. There's just not. Not that I don't already have or anything like that. I mean, there could be like some dots and things like that. But, you know, I just don't. There's just not a gun that I absolutely have to have. And y'all know that I don't just buy guns for a review. I've said that for years. I'm not that guy. Yeah, I just want to say thank y'all. Thanks, like Ozark guy says, way to hang in there for the long haul. Congratulations. Yeah, I didn't want to jump into something that I knew that I wasn't going to like or that we weren't on the same page. So, I had some people that were interested and like, hey, come to work, but I was really finding out what they were all about and kind of what their beliefs are and all of that, and it just some of them didn't work out. So, yes, I'm catching up on. I will be traveling again. Yes, so let me catch back up. But thank y'all so much for your prayers and your congratulations. I mean, that really means a lot. Y'all definitely helped me through a lot of crap because, man, I was like, what in the hell is going on? One minute you have people knocking down your door to hire you, and the next minute it's like, oh, we don't have any money, or, we're in a predicament right now. There were a lot of companies that were like that weren't in the past. Yeah, Brian has a legit question. What I've noticed with SIG and their high bore axis is it actually returns to zero much faster and flatter shooting low bore axis pistol does. In my opinion, this is my opinion, I already start with a super high grip. If y'all have seen my grip, it's all the way, I mean, it's jammed all the way up there. And if you've got the proper grip and you're using your pinky for leverage, even without a comp, I really don't have a lot of rise. And I've tested it with the SIGs that I had, the 320s and stuff like that. And even with the same setup and the way it's sprung, I do get more lift with a higher bore axis pistol. I'm not saying it's bad. I can return them to zero. I carried them. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I personally do notice a difference between a lower bore axis pistol versus a little bit higher bore axis pistol. Not the end of the world either way, but I have noticed it with the really crunching down and getting that monster grip. I do notice the low bore axis does work better. And hell, if you think about it, my 2011s are not super low bore axis. So that right there can tell you. I mean, I can shoot either one. Like on the P10C, I do prefer it and like a Glock and things like that over some of the SIGs. Dirt Track has an idea. First paycheck goes to a new gun. Subscribers pick. Yeah. No, I mean, I might get something to kind of celebrate a little bit, but it's, I mean, like I said, there's just nothing that I absolutely have to have. There's just really not. And if there was, I would tell you. I'd be like, oh, this is exactly what I want. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. How about that DWX Big J? Yeah, I mean, the DWX is a cool gun. But with the 2011s that I have, I just don't see a need in having it. But I already have the Shadow 2 and stuff like that. Um, and I love the Shadow 2, but of course that's double action, single action. I just don't see, honestly, a reason to have the DWX in my situation. If I was buying it just to have a DWX, but I just don't see a role. And as we've talked about before, I've got guns that I literally have not shot in over 2 years, some maybe 3 years. They just sit there. And some of them are collector type guns that I'm never going to get rid of, but some of them are just average guns. And I'm just like, man, I got crap that's just sitting here. Yeah, Brian's saying the RIA 5.0 looks great. I know Humble has one. Um, he did the video on it. If y'all want to check it out, he released a video on it. I think it looks cool, but it doesn't do anything for me. It just doesn't. Um, I think a lot of people might like it, but for me, it just doesn't do anything for me. Well, thank you, Jim. Y'all mean a lot to me too because y'all are the ones that make these chats happen. Y'all are the ones that keep me motivated. Y'all are the ones that I love to talk to and love to do these chats and interact with y'all because like-minded people, I mean, put it this way, if we were all out together, we would probably hit it off and sit around, drink a beer together or whatever and have a great time. So maybe sometimes we can do that. If I'm in your area or whatever, I might tell you, hey, I'm headed here next week. And, if y'all are ever around or whatever, I know Floridian and I have talked about that and never got to meet up, but, I'd love to sit down and talk with y'all and shoot the crap. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. Abigail says, I literally got into AR-15s because of video games. I'm working on an M16A4 clone at the moment. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not a gamer. Never really have been. Y'all got to remember, I was around when freaking Pong and Pac-Man and Galaga and all Asteroids and all that shit was around. Y'all probably, I'm talking the original games, not the throwback stuff that y'all see now. We'd go to the arcades and have a pocket full of quarters. Uh, that's the crap I grew up with. And, I played them then and stuff, but I was mostly like outside playing football or actually doing two-a-days. I mean, I started playing football when I think I was 6 years old. This is Texas. We all play football, um, all through high school and all that stuff. So, I mean, I was never really in the house to play video games. And I know a lot of the kids are and the younger people are now. And I mean, do what you enjoy. Thank you, Checkmate. I appreciate it. Pick up one of those 507 comps. 507 comp. Oh, and the grip's too short on that thing for me. Yeah, the H or the FN, and I've got the FN 509. That it wasn't a tactical, but I made it into a tactical, and it's comped and all that stuff. Is it a new job you feel you would truly enjoy doing? Hello, Vanessa Kitty. Yes, it is. It is very similar to what I did before. And what's funny, in this role, I will have a lot of the same customers that know me and love me, and I love them, and all that kind of stuff. So it's honestly kind of like a marriage. I will say this: I'll be totally upfront with y'all. It is not the same money. It has the same. We'll put it this way: potentially, it could actually be more, but it actually is less money than I was making before. But right now, um, it's a different market. It really is. It's a totally different market. It seems like every company is wanting to get you for, you know, half or three quarters of what you were making before. So, I mean, they really, really wanted me, and I really, really wanted to work for them. We just had to get it all worked out, and we did. So it's all good now. Uh, Fairly close, not exactly, but I think in the long run it's going to pay off. So we'll just leave it at that. And I have some other perks. Probably, well, I know it will be not immediately, but I will have a company truck. Um, so that's something I did not have before. So I will have that. Or a company vehicle. I think it is going to be a truck, and I think I might get to pick it. So I'm not sure on that yet, but maybe so. Well, we'll see. Yeah, MD Polo, that's a real thing. I mean, I've been digging in the safes before and been like, what the hell is this? Not just with guns, it's like lights. Um, I mean, I found it, and I don't know where it is now. I put it somewhere I think I put it in one of my tub buckets. But I found a, Streamlight non HL, and I think it was either the 400 or the 600 lumen one from like, what was it, 20 years ago or whenever they first came out. And I was like, holy crap, I forgot I had this. All right. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a bottle I already had open, but I poured me a little more this evening. I definitely want to celebrate. Yeah, I know y'all have had a tough time there, and I definitely feel for y'all, and my prayers are out for y'all with that derailment, train derailment. I can't even talk this evening. Trust me, I haven't drank a lot. Um, I mean, that's a mess, and the government needs to get down there and take care of that shit. Quit trying to sweep it under the rug. Hello, David. How are you? What is this? Yep, we could even have and he might be trolling a little bit, but we could have a little bit of a rave tonight. Got some good news. Got the blue light on back there. I don't have any glow sticks though. I've got some of those little, God, what do they call? Where you can drop them. Um, Crap. Those little bitty sticks. I forget what they're called. Um, where you can put them on your battle belt and shit. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Brian. I was a big Galaga Defender fan. Man, and Centipede. Man, Galaga was my jam. I loved Galaga. Matter of fact, I had the opportunity, like, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago to buy an actual Galaga machine, like a real one. I probably should have bought the damn thing. Could have thrown it in here and we could have played. Oh, the Hollow Sun 507 competition. Yes. I already told myself, I'm sorry. Yeah, great thing, Pistol Pete. I already told myself when that is available, the 507 competition dot, I will buy one. That was my next one. I was going to buy the EPS full size probably, and I was going to buy the 507 competition. So when those are available at my gun store, I will be buying those. Or excuse me, the EPS has been there, but I wanted to get the 507 competition first. I think it's going to be cool, and it's a big old boy. Yep, Marshall. Okay, I got one for you. Yes, I played a lot of pinball machines too, but have you ever, and Marshall and anybody else that knows about this, you can answer too. What about pachinko machines? They're called pachinko machines, where it's the stand up pinball game where it shoots the ball up and goes through it, but it stands up, not like a pinball machine where it lays flat. Marshall, let me know if you know what a pachinko machine is. I used to have two of the pachinko machines, and then I sold them. Had them long, long time ago. Yeah, Floridian, I think it will, and also just even you know moving up and all that other stuff. I think in the long haul, it's gonna pay off. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate you. Could have a green background, yeah. The green doesn't look that great. I've played with the green and the red and the orange, and everybody seems to like the blue the best. Thanks, Danny P. I appreciate it. Y'all smash that thumbs up this evening. Let's see here. Catch back up here. Kim lights. You're correct, Abigail. I've got some Kim lights in my battle belt and stuff. Those little glow stick things. I don't want to throw those all around in the room. Those little suckers aren't cheap either. Yeah, pachinko machines were fun. My my stepdad's. Well, put it this way. uh, y'all know I don't share a lot of personal stuff, but I had. Let's put it this way. And we've all had crazy childhoods, but my biological mother had many, many. Put it this way: I had many, many stepfathers. If that tells y'all anything, and one of them actually collected pachinko machines. and had, gosh, I think he had like 15 or 20 of these things. But and the way I say it is, everybody has the crazy side of their family. So sometimes you just got to put the leash on them and walk them around in public. I've always said that. But yeah, that was the crazy side of my family. Put it that way. Skee ball. Yeah, I remember that too. I love skee ball. Oh man, yeah, bald. I was gonna say we're probably close to the same age, I think, or hell, you might be younger than me. But I remember back when we had UHF, VHF, TVs where you had to mess with the antenna and bend the rabbit ears and put aluminum foil on them to get the signal to come in, and you only had four channels, and you didn't have a remote control. So I was the remote control as a kid, getting up and changing the channels. So yeah, I remember those. You have a large extended family now? Yeah, I mean, a lot of well, my mother passed, my biological mother passed, and I never kept up with all the stepdads. Um, I have a half sister that hell I don't even see. Haven't since the funeral that I paid for, but yeah, that's don't want to get into that, but yeah, I definitely have a crazy side of family, and I think everybody out there probably does. Oh, I mean, with our community, yes. Y'all are definitely family. From day one, I have called y'all family. Kind of like the friends and family deal. Yeah, 13 channels of shit on the TV to choose from. Roger Waters. Yeah, well, back in the day, the only thing we watched, I grew up with my grandparents too. The only thing that we watched was Gunsmoke. Well, it was called Dallas Federation Wrestling. That was back when Kevin Von Erich, Kerry Von Erich, and all the Von Erichs. And I've never spoken about this, but I grew up close to a town the, that the Von Erichs grew up in. So we would actually go to Lake Dallas, if y'all know where that is. It's a town called Lake Dallas. It's between Denton and Flower or Louisville. But we used to we'd go to Lake Dallas on the weekends. One of my best friends lived there, so I'd spend the weekend with him. And Kevin and Carrie and all them would drive their Trans Ams all around town. And there was a video arcade there, so we'd all go play video games, and we'd play with Chris, which was their younger brother. It was Chris Von Erich, and he played video games with us. So we'd be in there playing video games, and Carrie and Kevin and all of them would start coming in. The girls would be chasing them around. They were older than us, and anyway, so it was cool to, it was like a small town, but they were, on TV and all of that wrestlers. We know wrestling's real, right? But anyway, so we did a lot of that on the weekends. Yep, party lines, and I remember that. You pick up the phone, yeah, get off the phone. I need to talk. Yeah, I remember those days. Y'all are the men and women, not me. Y'all are the men and women. Yeah, we watched Hee Haw. We watched The Rifleman. Man, we watched all that stuff. All the cool shows. Chuck Connors. Sportatorium in Dallas. Yep, I went to that thing many, many times. My dad used to take me to wrestling when I was younger. Dallas Sportatorium. Yeah, what's funny is I never had a Trans Am. I had a buddy who had one. I think it was a '78 Trans Am. It was the 455 with the Ram Air. It was a beast. I helped him do a lot of motor work on it, but I think it was a beast. But what's funny is the headliner, I didn't do headliners. That's not my gig. But the headliner would sag down, so I put it up and we pinned it with a bunch of safety pins, and we'd be driving with the windows down like over 100, and that vinyl or that cloth would be popping us in the head. And one time it blew down in the front and was hanging there, and neither one of us could see. And he was having to lift it up to drive, and we were going over 100 on bald tires. Surprised we made it out alive. Man, y'all are going, yeah, rawhide. Brian, I usually don't say, but I was born in '69. So we'll let y'all, since we're having a little party this evening, I will let y'all know when I was born. Rich B, where would you say HK firearms fall in the pecking order? HK makes nice pistols. They really do. And pecking order is going to be different for different people. So I'll say this: HK USPs, SKs, or the hammer fired, like the PKs, or higher than the striker fire in my book. Um, HK is not, they don't really like the pores. It's always been a joke, but it's kind of actually true. I mean, the guns run super reliable. However, I had a VP9 that did not, because they did do a change for the 9mm. They kept the 40 caliber spring in there, so it did not want to run 115 grain, your basic training ammo. I've got videos. I can go back and watch it. That thing ejected like shit. It was horrible. It pissed me off. And I called them, contacted them, and they had done a running change. So they used to put 9mm springs in them. They did a running change and put 40 caliber springs in them to make them stiffer. And then you got shitty ejection. But I mean, super reliable guns. If you want one, get one. They're great guns. But honestly, I think for what you get, now you can get the molded grips where you can change the side panels. I mean, their grips are awesome. But I think for what you get, the price is too high in my book. Nothing that a P10C or a Glock or another striker fire gun wouldn't do. However, I do like their double action, single actions, with the better trigger, for some of the SKs. But it's really kind of be up to you. Currently, do I have an HK now? No, I don't. I sold that. The last one I had was the VP9, and I sold it a long time ago. I don't even own an HK anymore. Nothing wrong with them, though. 72 Chevelle SS. Great. Man, you need to get that thing running. But yes, a lot of older cars are. 70 Ram Air. Yep. Great one. Wanted, Dead or Alive. Oh, yeah, a little Bon Jovi action. No, I was born in '69, Pistol Pete. Nipped me by a year. I'm in 1965. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, we used to have the one dial phone in the house, and it had the extra long cord. So if you want to talk to your girlfriend, you had to get the headset, and it was mounted on the wall, and you had to walk down the hall as far as you could. It would stretch to talk to your girlfriend so your family didn't hear. And that's, and I even said this the other day. It was crazy. Back when I was young, we didn't have cell phones with, I mean, I probably have 4,000 contacts in my phone, literally. Um, but back in the day, I mean, I could remember my grandmother's telephone number, my mom's, my dad's, house phone numbers because we didn't have cell phones, my girlfriend's, my best friend. I mean, I could remember all these numbers in my head. Now I can't. I do good to remember my own damn cell phone number. I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but I can only honestly remember like about 3 or 4 people's telephone numbers in my head, and then I got to check the phone. And so we'd have, if you couldn't remember all of them, you'd have those little black books where you'd write your girlfriend's numbers in them, and then they had Rolodexes. Y'all probably remember, some of the older guys and ladies remember those. But it's crazy the shit we used to have to remember back then that we don't remember now because we don't have to. Yes, David, I remember cars that did not have ACs. Yep. The AC was opening your side vent windows and having air blow on you. Canic, I agree. FN and HK kind of hate you, and I own 3 or 4 FNs. I mean, I really like FN and I like HK, but in the price market, I think FN on some of their stuff is more affordable than HK. Walthers are not bad guns. The problem that I have with Walthers, Jim, is the grips are too short. On 90% of their guns, their grips are way too short for me. I have XXL hands, you'll all know that. And the grip hits me right here, so I've got all this meat. So when I'm gripping the gun and I try to do a quick mag change, it pinches the crap out of the meat on my hands. Um, the Berettas, 92s are the same exact way. The Walthers are too short. Some of the HKs are too short. So I have to be really picky about the guns that I personally have. Not every one of them, but they just have to fit my hand or I don't want them. That's just the way I look at it. So nothing's wrong with them. However, I will say on the front, when you shoot them really, really fast, they do have quite a bit of lift in the front because they're super light in the front. And Walters, I mean, I'm not the only person to ever say that, but you know, Taylor's asking how many silencers do you have and hoping to purchase any. I actually have two now. I have the Q Trash Panda, of course, a 30 caliber, so I can use it on all my 308s, use it on my 5.56, use it on my 300 blackouts. It works great. And then I have a 22 dead air mask um, for my 22 rifles, 22 pistols. It also works on 5.7, 22 Magnum, things like that. I will say this, and I've said it before, I am not on anything other than a 22 pistol. I don't really care for cans on a 9mm. Don't really care for cans on a 45 pistol. I'm talking pistols. PDWs are a whole different ballgame. But I prefer rifle suppressors and 22 suppressors. That's just my opinion. Um, I just don't really get into the 9mm, 40s, 45s, things like that with a can on them. I've shot plenty of them, but that was just one of the reasons we're like, other than a novelty or something like that, or trying to impress friends or letting friends have fun, there's no reason for me to have them. So, Command and Conquer, I've never played that. Microwave and a VCR. Wow, that's cool. Wow. Yeah, not too long ago, we sold my dad's 1970 Charger RT 440 Plum Crazy Purple. If y'all follow old cars, hell, it's been in magazines and all that. It was one of 6 that met the rating of the cars that are even on the for the your model car. It was registered and all that stuff. I mean, it was a beautiful car. I did a lot of work on it myself. It was all OE, original window sticker, original data plate, all numbers matching. It was like, thing was immaculate. All gone. And sold that recently. It was not a cheap car. Um, but, as my dad got older, and he was like, you can have it. I can't even fit in it. And I told him that when he bought it, I couldn't fit in it. I'm just too tall, too big, and those seats only go back so far. Even a lot of the old cars I used to run and race, I actually had to take the seats out, and I only run bucket seats. But I had to take the seats out, take the floor bolsters off, put a plate in them, and actually move them back about another 6 inches and re-weld them with the adjustment in them, just so I could fit in them. So I was pretty much sitting in the back seat of most of my cars. My 70 Cuda, my 69 Cutlass. I had a 69 Chevelle. What else did I have? But anyway, I had to move a lot of the seat bolsters back, and I was not going to do that to that car. Mine were race cars, tubbed. They weren't like one-off cars. That would have decreased the value majorly on that vehicle. Hello, Mike. Hi, how are you? Thanks, Double A. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're about 4 minutes over, and I don't want to step on Chris's chat. So if I miss some questions, really want to ask them, I'm sorry. I kind of got, we kind of went on a little tangent here. No, I will not be picking up a Staccato CS. I've got a full video on them. I've tested it. It's a great pistol, just a bit too small for me. Nothing wrong with it, but I have a lot of 2011s, and that takes a proprietary mag, and I don't get my left hand grip on the side, so it's a little too small for me. Not that it's a bad gun. I just have large hands, so I prefer the C2 and the Ps and things like that. So I won't be switching them over. Yes, I'm a hardcore Mopar guy. So I will be handling, if y'all knew with the new job, the areas that I handled before, I'll pretty much be in the exact same areas. So that's a good thing. But I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for your support. Really means a lot. Y'all have been behind me this whole time. It's been very stressful, and y'all have been there to cheer me up and things like that. So that really means a lot. But we're going to get into this new gig and crush it. And follow me on the Big J's Pit Stop channel because a lot of videos as I travel are going to be coming to that channel. We'll even try some like restaurants and stuff that I've never been to. I'll just go into them. If they say have the world's best whatever, uh, we will go into them. And also, I'll be showing you some of my favorite burger joints that are not chains. If you want a great burger, onion rings, homemade onion rings, I've got a place that I definitely want to do a video at because I have to stop there every time. It's amazing. And I think y'all will really like it. And it's on a major highway. And I think a lot of people probably drive right past it and don't even know it. But we'll get into that. But thank y'all so much. Have a wonderful night. I appreciate all the support. And if you have any questions after this, leave it. I'll answer them up. And y'all can head over to Chris's chat and enjoy. Y'all have a great night. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Take care.